settings or maybe abstracted, more abstract settings?
Yeah.
So there was two titles there. One that's a Tetris sort of 3D title that you're using the gamepad, the IMU and gyroscope or whatever's built into that to use it to actually move it around. That's one thing. And then this kitchen demo is a horror game that you're still holding on to the gamepad, but they use it. They simulate like you have your hands tied. Any thoughts on both of those titles?
Tied together sounds kind of scary. I don't know about that, but.
Yeah, I thought it was a little clever to, since that's kind of the position your hands are in on a controller that, so without using the move controllers, that's a way to sort of tie it together. A little clever.
Yeah, luckily with the Oculus, you can untie your hands.
Yes, indeed. Now, I think it's brilliant.
So the next one uses the move, but it also... Go ahead.
Sorry. I think it's brilliant that with the PlayStation and the Morpheus, to have that controller is really fantastic to be able to have that movement just with the gamepad. That I was disappointed with when they announced that the Xbox One controller was being bundled with the Oculus Rift, because it didn't have that feature, which I found when I did demo the Morpheus that it was very, very useful in VR. It gives you another sense of presence, and it helps with that immersion.
I'm basically excited for this next one. To me, it blows these first two, but I wanted to show that there's quite a variety of titles for Morpheus, which I wasn't aware of. It's this sort of asymmetrical game where there's one person in VR and 3 or 4 other people just with gamepads looking at the screen. So let's check it out.
Asymmetrical gaming. Morpheus. One person wears a headset. Mm-hmm. You are a dragon moving around. Just using my head. Just using your head. And 4 people with controllers running away from you, seeing the screen. Now, you guys were the ones running. I didn't know who you were. We were. It was really interesting because it showed that the PlayStation could power not only the visuals of the Morpheus, but also then output a separate image, different.
I think this is killer.
On the TV, so you can get 5-player gaming. Now, this is their equivalent of the Wii U. Or something like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where this is the entry game for VR. You get your Morpheus. I think that this will probably be the first thing you fire up.
So
you
cool.
Put it on. Everybody in the family takes a turn on the controllers.
I want to play.
Takes a turn on the headset. It's worth mentioning this was a lo-fi model compared to
I think this is something that Morpheus has over VR and PC.
That looks like so much fun. Oculus, and Steam VR, which are computer-based desktop experiences. This is where it maximizes that couch experience in the living room. VR, the living room, made for a...
Now, that's interesting to see that the PlayStation can go ahead and output both signals. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it is. I think in the beginning when we thought about Morpheus and PlayStation getting into VR, I was like, well, how's it going to power, these sorts of things? But they obviously now have titles that people are trying and they work. That title was, cartoony, low poly. I'm sure that has a lot to factor into it. Optimizations, the developers are able to optimize like crazy. Exciting. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, no, it's great to see so many Morpheus games and so much variety. I think, like you were saying, I think it's just amazing that it can actually output the VR screen as well as a separate screen with 4 people playing. That's huge. That's really huge.
What else? What do you guys think?
Oh, well, just seeing them do something like that, I mean, just other thoughts. I've had a lot of people, talk to me about the Oculus, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm a big PlayStation fan, so I don't have a PC." And so it's always like, well, there is the Morpheus thing. Check that out. And as soon as they do, they come back to me, and they want to talk about all the different things they've seen with the Morpheus. And of course, one thing that always pops up recently is the fact that the controller can be tracked with it, and how those things are united. And I guess being with the Oculus, we're kind of one step ahead of that, especially if you've had a Hydra before, because we've kind of been doing that now for quite some time. But one thing that I almost would think would be somewhat interesting is like, we've got here in VRChat, they've got a level that you can go to that's got the characters, the models already set up. And I've got the Duke Nukem set up here because I walked in there and I literally just walked up to the model, clicked on it, and then it popped there and it instantly transferred, it created me into Duke Nukem. Something along that lines is what I'm thinking is in the future we'll be able to walk into a place like, Gunters Universe right here, where we're going to have virtual characters. We're all going to be sitting at home on our desktops, but this is our desktop, and we can literally go into a solid game that we're all jumping in together, and we can, click the game and boom, you're there. So, imagine if we had a virtual console sitting in the middle of this desk that we all just, hit the space bar on, and we're all instantly jumped into the VR chat and, in the game playing with it, together. I think that's going to be possible.
And it was like
more happening.
Like Captain N and the Game Master when he gets sucked into the TV. If anybody
Right.
is around my age.
Like double sucked in, yeah.
Yeah.
But I see that happening.
Super excited.
I mean,
so I wanted to toss some of this to Mr. Whiskers, but I've been too frantic with the crashing. What do you think of this title, Mr. Whiskers?
Meow.
Mr. Whiskers will, I think.
He's talking to Cat, everybody.
Yeah, Mr. Whiskers is the cat. Mr. Whiskers meows or poops, depending on what he likes.
Nice.
We can have review time. He doesn't like it. I don't know if he doesn't like Morpheus or just this title. So I didn't prepare a Mr. Whiskers segment. I'm sort of just throwing some things randomly, but in the future we're going to have a little Mr. Whisker time, so it's pretty cool.
That's great.
I'm really
All right,
glad we
Whiskers.
don't have smell piped in right now.
Right. It's right
Yep,
next to
yep.
you, buddy. It's real close. I like the drum roll though. That was the best.
The poop
Yeah,
is
I love being
growing.
able to look over here. The poop is growing, yes. Luckily, Mr. Whiskers is a wizard and is respectful and cleans up his own poo and doesn't treat the set like a litter box.
Oh man.
Okay, what else? We've got
Then
a few other things.
accessory, the gun.
Yeah, so this was a tech demo made by Impulse Gear, and it's in addition to normal VR stuff, we can move your head and look around. They had built a controller out of like the Frankenstein parts of a Move controller, nav controller, PS4 controller. Put it on one of those plastic guns that you snap the Move controller in last generation, and obviously this is an oversimplification because it's not that hardware anymore. But you basically had an independently fireable gun that was independent of your viewpoint. So kind of like in the London heist that we saw at GDC where you could pick up the gun, aim down the sights and all that stuff, you could do this with a rifle that you were holding with two hands. Your left thumb controlled movement. The right thumb you could do turns to kind of adjust your perspective if you drifted or if the world turned. And then you shoot, fire, you basically use your two triggers to shoot.
Was it on rails or was it a free?
No, you were free moving. So the left thumbstick was strafe movement, forward, back, left, and right. And like you could get through the world. You could use cover. You could lift the gun up over your head, shoot over a rock, get the angle that you needed to kill something without necessarily having to stick your body out.
Did it take you out of presence because you were using the thumbstick to move and not moving your legs?
Aw.
That part wasn't so bad. There was a little bit of drift occasionally that was kind of uncomfortable, like in a VR sickness kind of way. They were very quick to point out, A, they're breaking the rules about first-person movement in VR. They're moving much faster than you're supposed to move. They said that they were able to do that because they're not giving you points of reference that your brain is familiar with. So you were able to move faster because it was a really large world. There wasn't like fire hydrant, something that you know how big it is and how fast you're moving toward it. Aiming was really good. There was a laser pointer a laser sight on the front of the gun. You could also aim down the sights a little bit, but the way you were shooting it was by putting the dot on the thing you wanted to kill and pulling the trigger.
So one thing to point out is how are all these people going behind them not aware what tested is and able to come out and be like, oh my god, it's tested.
Right. I hear you there.
Well, yeah.
So they have a gun accessory. What do you think that's, I mean, I think it's cool. Do you guys think it's cool, or is this now an extra input device that kind of throws things for a loop?
Well, it could be useful, and you got a rifle, right? Because as we've seen, if anybody here's tried the London Heist demo, which is actually fantastic, is that you can use a pistol with a single move controller. It feels great. So I don't know. If you want to go the extra mile, why not?
Yeah, I mean, as long as, like, it's not all the buttons are the same as a DualShock controller, right, on the rifle. So, like, it's not a huge port problem. Like, it's not like
Right, I get it, yeah.
an Xbox controller versus the touch, right?
Right, they already have the gamepad support plus their move support, so it's pretty much just a mixture of those two things.
Yeah, it's just like it's a remix of the same gamepad, right? Same buttons, so same actions. I mean, you could just, like, if it's more comfortable to remap it, like, remap some of the controls to the new one. That's not a huge problem, right? It's not a completely different input. Because I'd imagine if you're going to support the rifle, you would support just, like, the naked move controllers, I guess you could call it, like, not in the gun cradle, something like that. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the motion controllers, though, so not too sure.
Well, I think us hardcore gamers or just gamers in general will definitely like that. Heist is up next, so when we play that, I think we'll have a bit to say about that.
Something I realized also with the Heist demo, which is sit down, you're in a car driving. That one, the aiming worked really well.
You're aiming with the sights,
Yeah,
right?
this one looks so cool.
And the tracers allow you to, point forward and aim up, aim at cars, motorcycles. I thought it would be difficult to shoot at the tires of a car driving alongside, but with the ammo, with the tracers, it was really easy.
Were you tapping, or were you holding down, spray and pray?
Oh, wow. Wow.
It was really fun. I like the way that they're using chairs for the London Heist demos for sit-down experiences. It felt more like being there.
That looks
Grab his
solid.
dick.
That
Yeah.
feels like something that's going to be a series of vignettes that you take the helmet off, the glasses off in between, come back in the real world, and then sit down for the next chapter in the game.
And then finally,
This thing looked really weird.
Oh, that was pretty brief.
They attached the hardware.
So, Nick, did you get to try Heist? Or maybe the previous Heist demo?
The previous heist, not this one.
The pistol, not the Uzi, and
Yes.
not in a car, but behind a desk.
I'm Duke Nukem.
But that looks awesome.
It does.
So you have the experience of that, and now know by seeing that what that might, be like, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what I said before, I mean, the one heist I did try was the previous demo. It feels fantastic, so that looks even better. I am eager to give it a go. Hopefully I can have that chance.
Yeah, have you guys tried, there's an old arcade game, probably a dozen years old, called Police 911 by Konami. Have you guys tried that?
I do remember that game.
No.
Was it at all similar to that? Like, because it looks similar, like in the moving around and stuff like that. Like, because that was a lot of fun. I mean, that was like a huge workout, but it was a lot of fun because of that. 'Cause you're dodging behind things and stuff. Is that what it was like?
I had less moving when the demo I tried, a lot less moving.
Okay. Yeah, the video made it look like they were like ducking behind a desk and stuff like that,
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing too. Like
Yeah,
standing
definitely
up, ducking down,
Yeah,
but just
it
not
wasn't-
moving around the area, just up and down, I guess, right?
Yeah, it wasn't extreme.
Right.
Last thing you want to do is fog up your lenses.
Totally.
That's a good point. So how about this? We're all going to want to get a bicycle and basically steer, drive, I don't know, our horses.
Bicycle, and I'm riding a horse, and the horse, I'm pedaling to simulate riding a horse. And it can be any vehicle. It could be a tank, it could be a UFO, it could be actually a bicycle. But I'm wearing the Morpheus, the VR headset, to look around.
Is this a fitness game?
No, the idea is that you can blend fitness with virtual experience. And I did want to pedal more, because I did get wings for the horse. I'm flying over a canyon, pedaling harder to get higher lift. My worry for it, and it was really fun and immersive, my worry for it is too much immersion for that. I wanted to sway my body, and that could have been bad.
So they had the bike on a big exercise mat that was fairly wide. It looked a little ungainly, especially if you're somebody my size and height. Yeah. It seems like I could have taken that thing down in a way that wouldn't have been good. Did it feel at all like Birdly when you were flying?
A little bit. So it gave you that really good presence of not only am I steering, I'm also pedaling and I'm looking around, and that was really cool. But like I said, if you get too much into it, you pedal too hard. I could see someone down the line if they're not safe with it, turning too hard and just knocking themselves over.
Do you picture a world where you go into the gym and there's 40 people on a row of exercise bikes wearing goggles, flying virtual horses?
I don't think it's gonna be a bicycle. Maybe like a one of those steppers.
Elliptical or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it.
So we're all going to run out and buy a bicycle now, right? Use it with our VR.
Oh yeah. The liability issues bubbling in my brain right now.
That is a cool idea, though. Like, I'll give them that. It's like putting your body in that position has to feel good when you're just looking around, and it's like in the virtual world, you're sitting down on a horse instead. Anytime you're kind of mimicking that real world posture, that helps add to the immersion, you know.
Super cool, absolutely. I mean, to use the bike in that situation, I think is a really good idea and very creative in a way. Because myself, I'm an avid cyclist. I go every day. I absolutely love it. So to try to recreate cycling in VR, I don't think it'd work very well. So I like the approach that they have to this. It's really cool.
Absolutely, man. Good to hear. I think more people need to be into cycling, and anytime you can make a game turn into an exercise activity for the kids, I mean, we can all ignore it, but we know there's a huge problem these days with people just not, going out, and if it happens to be that, it's okay. It's just that if we can have fun while we're exercising, I would be more apt to do it. I know myself even, so I'm happy to see people doing that kind of stuff, and absolutely excited to try it.
And one last, well, this isn't it. One last title called The Deep.
All right. How's it look down there? I'm reading a lot of movement. You're in for a good show. But remember, we're not here so you can commune with nature. We've got a lot riding on this.
Oh, I saw this after I made my
Okay.
video. This would be even worse.
Okay, equipment check. Take a look at the suit. Move your head. Make sure you don't snag on anything.
I like the avatar quite a bit. That's cool.
Okay, here we go. Going down.
Yeah, and just the surroundings look so beautiful.
Totally, yeah.
And I can say from experience right now, every underwater game I've played is just 10 times more terrifying than a non-underwater game. It's
true.
It just gets
For
me.
me, myself.
It gets me really, really well.
I remember playing Super Mario 64 and even having to swim Mario underwater.
Right, and yeah, even in Sonic, man, Sonic underwater is freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Subnautica's got those same bubbles to give you air.
Listen, we're having a little technical difficulty up here. I'm getting some weird readings from the suit.
Has anybody gone diving before?
Cut yourself or anything, do you?
Yeah, I love diving.
I've done it a few times. Yeah, it's rad. It can be pretty freaky. I really like the idea of having those sorts of exploration in VR. I haven't played Subnautical though.
Say VR Gaming Evolved, he actually dives in real life for his job, and he loves Subnautica. Says he loves playing it just because the way it makes him feel. That's coming from somebody who does it.
Very cool.
More sharks.
And yeah,
No.
I can't handle this sort of stuff in VR, man. Like,
Oh no.
I get freaked out.
Like I get the chills. I
love it.
can't imagine like how bad it affects me. I'd never expect it.
Like I'm not a fan of the horror. That's just like shit popping out of you and it's real loud. But this sort of thing, like, I like this.
Gosh.
Like it's terrifying because you're able to anticipate what's going to happen. Something that you're able to see it coming.
Right.
We're familiar with sharks.
You see the new
We don't want to
cheesy-
drown.
The guy with the Morpheus on is just smiling real big when the shark.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, when the shark comes at him, he's just super excited.
His pants are now brown.
Right?
He's a sadistic son of a bitch.
It's like the little flares do nothing. They're just like, hello, annoying him.
Food here.
Right?
It looks nice.
Oh no, it looks stunning. It's the breath. Oh gosh, I can't wait for movies
Yeah,
to be like this.
No doubt, this is an impressive demo, and I like how they're expanding on this. This isn't something new. I mean, I think the first time they showed off the Morpheus, this is similar to a demo that they had.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I didn't realize there was all these titles and demos and things when I came across them. I was pretty excited. I still won't buy Morpheus though.
For sharks.
For sharks. Cool, cool. So that's just a quick thing about Nintendo. They're not interested in VR apparently. They think it's antisocial.
Pessimistic.
So I'm certainly not going to be picking up any Nintendo consoles.
Yes,
I'll just play the emulator on the phone. Will work for me. Play old school stuff.
Well, talking about antisocial, I think, you know, this is just a stunning example of how antisocial VR is. All of us here right now in it together.
Yeah, right.
I do have to say one thing on Reddit.
We're only people coming together from all across the world. You know?
Right. Exactly. I mean, I'm sure we've had people from all kinds of places here. Oh, sorry about that.
It's incredible. I know, like, and this is just us chatting. I mean, it's no more than having this physical representation of each person in voice chat. But just imagine in the near future when we actually have body language come through in VR, we have facial tracking and like accurate body tracking when we actually communicate as humans. That is going to be unbelievable.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the evolution of ourselves in these rooms, in these spaces.
Right. Yeah, I did see them
High-fiving.
the SMI's got some tracking demos where they can do that kind of stuff. But I do got to say real quick, Matt, I was developing with I just started Unity 5.1. I got that going, so I was trying to get a project going for the Leap Motion. They had a challenge that ended yesterday at 1 p.m. for the image hands. And if you're familiar with the Leap Motion, they've got the normal hands that you put in front of you, and you can see your skeletal hands. You can switch between male, female, robot hands, all kinds of cool things. But they just recently released a demo that has image hands, which actually allows you to see your real hands in front of you in the VR demo. So I'll be playing around in the world, and I can put my hand up, and I can see my ring on my finger, my actual wedding ring, because it's my hand. It's kind of, you know, they're a little black and white because the way the Leap works is an IR camera. So they've got a little ways to go with it. Anyhow, as I was doing this, though, I for the first time jumped into Unity 5, and I realized, although VR support is extremely easy to do, I have a video showing it, they kind of copied you a little bit there, buddy, because you were the first person to do the whole faceted flight, flying through the rings and doing that, and I noticed when you jump into their demo with vehicles, they start out with a little flying thing, and they've got these rings in the air, and they're totally paying homage to you, buddy. Just wanted to let you know that you did it first, but that's their starting demo is a similar. It's not the same by any means, but it's definitely reminiscent of it. But I just think it's funny that you got that first. So it's a good software, though. I mean, if anybody gets a chance to, Unity 5 is extremely user friendly and fun.
Sorry, I forgot to hit the button and I was talking.
Right.
But yeah, the Leap is actually like it was kind of impressive. I used it for the Leap Motion Jam back in November and built a little like whack-a-mole game for that. It was kind of fun. Like I really like it was. I was disappointed in the finger tracking at the time, right? But it was just really cool using your real hands as like an interactive game object, you know.
Right. Oh yeah.
To interact with that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
I couldn't find the one you're talking about, but
the game or
no, the Leap Motion. I think this isn't it, but it's an example why we're talking about it.
Yeah, it's similar. These are actually his hands being tracked as opposed to a robot, but it's not. It's just showing you kind of the image pass through, and when it loses tracking, they disappear. Of course, they can change it so you can actually see the hands a little differently. I haven't seen the green color before. But no,
That's wild.
I do remember the whack-a-mole challenge, so that's awesome that you made that one. I was thinking, actually, that's really funny that you're here then, because I was literally thinking of kind of copying and not copying, but I wanted to do a similar type of pushing 3D characters into holes, to create points with the image hands. And as I was thinking of doing that, I was certainly thinking of your game from the Leap Jam. So that's cool that you were the one that did that. I did Mazer Quest,
Very
but
cool.
didn't really. I wish I could update it to Unity 5. So far, I'm having some problems with getting the transition. So keep working on that.
So Caleb,
Yeah.
was Mazer Quest your first experience? Because you had Leap support on that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's when I first heard about the Oculus Rift being $350. I thought, it's a lot of money still. I mean, I'm not super rich or anything, and I have to work for everything I have. But I realized that was a goal that I could reach. So as soon as I saw that, I saw the Leap, and it was something I already knew about. And I thought to myself, if I was going to develop a game, I wanted to develop something that anybody could sit down, put on, and play without having to put on a whole bunch of gear, without having to do a lot. And putting the headset on, you can jump into my game and put your hands in front of you, and you see them. And I know that there's a few games out there that are like that, but I mean, just simply jumping in the first level and being able to play with your hands and push balls and cubes around is something that I think is like one of the more fun things to do in VR. And I've had a real hard time finding places to do that or games that I can just do that in. Just recently today, I had somebody get in VR for the first time, and as soon as they do that, they want to play with their hands and they want to move things around, and of course I don't put them in my demo first, so I've got to then switch them around. But it would be nice to have more content like that. But as you guys are all saying, the leap motion is just really, really cool. It adds a lot to your games, but only if you need them. But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had a Leap.
Pat, Pat's cooking it. As you were saying, man, the Mazer Quest was the first thing I ever did, and as you can see, if you ever play it, it's got very, very simple scripts in it, but it was fun. It was fun to play.
Yeah, I tried it out quite a while ago because it was several months ago that you released it. I haven't tried it since then.
Yeah, I released like 5 or 6 different versions. Every 2 weeks I was putting them out there because I work a full-time job, so whenever I get the chance I can work on it. But I've got a final update that has new lighting and cloths and all kinds of water effects and things that's just never come out. And hopefully I can get it out soon and you guys can play it because I've had a lot of fun making it and playing with it. And hopefully if I can get it supported in Unity 5, it'll just be even that much better. So
Cool.
Nice.
Looking forward to that. So wait, Gunter, you said you don't have a Leap motion. Have you tried it?
I haven't even tried it, no.
Oh.
Gunter,
Well, maybe I'll
Gunter.
send you mine.
I was gonna say, Gunter, you will get one as soon as you become stationary, my friend. You'll have a leap, all right?
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Just like to try it out. I really don't want to throw down the dough for it. I could use a better microphone or something else, and probably won't play with it a tremendous amount, If it was in VRChat supported, yeah, I'd have it if I could, I got a Hydra, but it's a little bit broken, so unfortunately I'm not able to do all that fancy handwork during the show.
We will talk after the show.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. Gonna wrap things up shortly. Matt, we have a lot of people that are starting to develop in games and VR here. Nick, I know that you're dabbling in that. I don't know how much past experience you have building games, but I think you're playing with Unity now. That is true, right?
Only just got into it, just watching videos and tutorials.
Yeah, and you're a step ahead of me. I know I have the capacity to do that. It's just getting the time to do it. But I mean, Unity makes it so simple, and just involving my set is actually going to be something really, easy for me to get my hands in. There's not really a lot of interactivity. I just want to create a space that works socially. But Matt, you've been in game development for a while now. You've worked with Valve, and I actually forgot who else you said. Can you talk about your history there, how you got into it? Did you go to college? Do you have recommendations for us newbies?
As far as recommendations, I would say just if you have an idea, go and build it. Like, that's the most important thing. Is go try it out. Get your first idea out there. It's gonna suck, but that's okay. Like, you get feedback and you get better. You find out what you actually need to focus on. That's kind of been the the way I learned how to do games at Valve, or the way to kind of handle problems, and that's kind of what stuck with me ever since. As far as my background goes, I went to I started my game dev career on the art side of things. I went to school in Florida, in Orlando, called Full Sail, and I got a degree in computer animation.
That's a great place. Been there before, buddy.
Oh, nice.
You had friends that went there. Yeah.
Movie
I grew up in South Florida, and I went to UCF for a little bit.
Okay, nice. Yeah, nice.
Yep, good nights.
But yeah, like so I went to Full Sail. I always wanted to do games, but like I wasn't really good at programming. Every time I'd get all these C++ books, you know, and I'd get in there and I'd get like 3 chapters in. I'm just like, oh crap, I don't know what the hell I'm doing anymore.
There's a clock
and
on
the art
floor?
side was a lot easier for me. So
What?
like in high school and stuff, I would build maps in Unreal Tournament, and I'd build mods with friends. And so I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I'll stick with the art side. And I've always loved animation, especially like old Disney stuff, just old Saturday morning cartoons, right? Like Captain N, all that. And so like I just started in doing animation and trying to focus on that, but I've always loved games. So I wanted to make animations that were not only like really nice to look at, but also very interactive, because that's the magic sauce of games, right? If things aren't interactive, it's just a glorified like movie, you know. Like my mantra for game animation is try not to build Dragon's Lair, you know, where you're just hitting like one button. Even though like I love Dragon's Lair, but at the same time, like that's not a fun video game necessarily, or it's not as fun as it could be.
Yeah, it's beautiful Don Bluth animation, but yeah, interactivity's not too much.
Totally. Yeah.
Buddy.
So after school, I got a job actually in Dallas doing G.I. Joe animated commercials. And so I worked on that for a few months. And then
Say what?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was right like post 9/11, like G.I. Joe was getting pushed really heavily, and they needed animators. My demo reel, I had a little soldier clip on it. It was actually an animation test I did for Bungie. And the guy running Real Effects saw that and was like, hey, that looks like a G.I. Joe, let's get that guy. And so that was kind of nice.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah. And then after that, I went to my first game studio. It was Kronos Digital in Pasadena, California. So I moved from Dallas, Texas to LA. And our game got canceled 2 weeks after I started. And then the studio is basically put on notice. Like we had 3 months to build something, or the studio had to shut down. And so we worked on a bunch of prototypes and stuff, but ultimately they didn't end up building any solid projects that got picked up by publishers. So I ended up looking for other jobs, and that's where I found Oddworld, and Oddworld picked me up, and it was a really awesome experience. They were working on an Xbox game called Stranger's Wrath at the time, and so
yeah, I remember seeing that and really thought that was awesome. I never picked it up and played it though.
You and a bunch of other people, because actually Oddworld, like that was one of the last games they made for a long time. They had to close down their whole games division for years, and I mean, I'm really happy to see that they picked back up recently with like the Stranger HD remake, and then the new Ape game and stuff like that. That was really cool. But yeah, after Stranger shipped right before Half-Life 2, or maybe
Starting
right
to get
after
hot in
Half-Life
here.
2. And all of us on the Stranger team, we were just playing Half-Life 2, talking about it at work the next day, stuff like that. And Half-Life 2 was basically my favorite game ever. And I saw a posting at Valve, like a job posting on an animation forum for Valve. And so I sent an email in and got a phone call the next day saying, hey, do you wanna come out for an interview? And so did that, and ended up working there for 8 years. It was a lot of fun, and I worked on everything from Half-Life 2 Episode 1 to a little bit on CS:GO. So it's a long career.
Yeah, CS:GO.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Any TF2?
I didn't work on the game necessarily, but I worked on the Meet the Soldier short. excited.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet, I can say I met somebody that worked on the Meet the Soldiers short. That's highlight of my day.
Something I think we all saw several times.
Oh, yeah.
I know that.
Oh, those were so great when they were coming out. It was just special.
So much fun to do, too. Like, so much fun. Especially as an animator. Like that, TF2 is a very animation-heavy sort of IP.
So a couple more things before we end the show. You're a cartoon fan, you're an animation fan. This is like, if I had to pick between cartoons or movies, I'd pick cartoons if I wasn't stuck on the desert island or something. And I always felt like cartoons were more like a virtual reality, since it's not really filmed, it's not filmed in a real world. It's actually all drawn, like computer games are drawn, and it's all, something inside the imagination. So I feel like my love of cartoons sort of transferred. But one of the interesting that's going to happen here as the events manager of VRChat, I'm going to host a Saturday morning cartoons lineup with commercials injected and all of that. So I hope that the community will enjoy that and come out for it. I think I'm going to do it in the morning, or probably like noon here and like 9 a.m. for Pacific. We'll see how that turns out. I might have to make it a midnight thing, and if people might be able to make that a little better. And after the show, I want to take us over to this room that Brute Bandit, one of our community members, has been building. It's basically your small toy-sized in a big kids room. Andy from Toy Story type of a kids room, and we've made a little game to play over there. So if you guys have time, that'll be fantastic.
Aww.
So yeah.
You guys are gonna play the game when I leave.
Yeah, we'll come back on Sunday because we're actually evolving this, and there's going to be a lot of evolution with this map and stuff. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, we will miss you.
That's okay, man. I'll definitely come back Sunday. I'm excited to see it. It'll be inspiring so that I can see what other people are doing. I certainly like to see what the other devs are up to. That way I can get my own, I guess, inspiration up. But as soon as I see you guys doing this kind of stuff, it certainly gets me going and it makes me want to do some more things. And of course, Matt, it's good to be able to see your game evolving as it has. I mean, I remember jumping yours way back almost a year ago. Was I think just about, not quite 8 months, I guess.
Almost, yeah. It just turned 1. Like, I got the notification from Tumblr.
Awesome. Well, yeah, congratulations on the turning 1 with your fastest flight, and of course all the success you've had in games. I'm sure it'll continue, especially as you are here right now in the VR world. That's going to continue to go. I do have to say, if not to promote myself too much, but if anybody's here is interested in getting involved into Unity or game development, I did make a 10-minute tutorial simply showing how to get your Oculus integrated into Unity, as well as your Leap Motion integrated in there as well. And just a little disclaimer, the Leap Motion image hands do not work in Unity 5.1 as of the current moment, and that is because the Oculus originally used a left camera and a right camera to configure both eyeballs. Now the Unity 5.1 actually configures both of those things in its software and only gives you one camera. And because of that, anything that was built with 2 cameras now doesn't work the same way, or at least until they fix those assets. But anyhow, if you're interested in starting something and building some terrain, adding some fixtures, and creating a simple game, you can do it in about 10 minutes, and I show you how to do that stuff if you're interested. So check it out.
Well, absolutely, that's great.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do plugs, and go ahead and plug your channel and how people can find you and that such thing.
All right, I'll just finish myself here. My name's RealityCheckVR, Caleb. I do the game development, and you can find me, of course, on Twitter and Instagram with RealityCheckDev on Twitter, RealityCheckVR on Instagram. I keep track of all the event production that I do, as well as VR projects and film photography. And of course here, I've got the YouTube channel. Yeah, there's the wife. Got the YouTube channel, RealityCheckVR, and I like to play different games, as well as create dev projects of my own and show them off. And one little quick plug, if anybody here has a game or is doing any developments or would like to do a collab, I would love to do it with you. I'm really interested and have a passion for this VR stuff, so I'd be excited to connect with anybody who wants to. So.
That's one of my biggest things when I bring everybody here, developers, enthusiasts. We all get connected. You all get to know each other. I get to know you guys, and it's a big deal. And Caleb, you're part of the family, and now, Nick, you've been part of the family, and Matt, now you're part of the VR family here. So it's fantastic. Caleb, I know you got to go, so feel free to dip out anytime you got. We're going to push things over to Nick for plugging time.
Okay, well, you guys know me on the internet as Patsy Coconut, but our channel is PureVR. Mostly check us out on Twitter, YouTube, and especially on iTunes and Stitcher, where you can find our podcast. So you can subscribe to that. We have new guests every week, and we just talk about the latest and greatest in VR.
It's a great podcast. You're a pro, dude. Thanks for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
No, I'm excited to hear that podcast. I haven't heard it yet, but I'm gonna check out your stuff as soon as we get done with this channel. My wife did say she's gonna be 20 minutes late, so I'm sticking around.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Well, don't disappear then.
Yeah, maybe next week, Caleb, you can come join us on the podcast.
Oh, always would be fun to do,
Boom.
man. Exciting.
All right, Matt, plug, share whatever you'd like to share.
Yeah, so you can find my stuff at facetedflight.com or at facetedflight on Twitter. We have a new demo that you can download. So if you go to facetedflight.com, there's a Play Now button, and so there's a whole new VR demo there. I fixed a bunch of things and added a new free flight mode, so it's called Exploration. So you can actually play with no time limits and stuff. That way you can get used to controls and
Yes.
just kind of hang out and relax.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
I was
much.
enjoying that.
I was really wanting that, so that's awesome.
And there's volume controls now too. So you turn down the game music, turn up whatever you have on Spotify. So you just like fly around, chill out, have fun. It's a small taste of what I'm trying to build. Actually, you have the old demo that I have. I'm calling it the prototype. It has 3 levels that it shipped with. If you include the new one from the new level in the demo, we have 5 levels. Everything I'm building now is about 4 times bigger than the original prototype levels that I was shipping. So they're much bigger levels to fly around. It doesn't feel like you're in a tiny enclosed space that you have to squeeze into. I kind of compare it to like a roller coaster like Space Mountain versus one of the behemoths at Cedar Point. It feels completely different. And we're also adding multiplayer, and so that would be huge if you could back us on Kickstarter. So you can get to that by going to facetedflight.com. But yeah, thanks Gunter for having me. This has been awesome. It's been great hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and first thing I'm going to do is go back your project, man. I loved playing your demo.
Thank you.
All right, so a couple announcements. VRChat weekly meetup is Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, GMT -4. So come out and play Red Light, Green Light. It's our new game that we found out that works really well in the social VR space. The game we learned in primary school. It sounds maybe a little boring, but it's not when you get 12 of us adults in there playing this silly game. And we have an Andy's Room Toy Story themed world that we do it in now. So good stuff. Go to Road to VR and click the events button in their main menu, and you'll get a calendar of all social events going on. So you can see what's going on at AltSpace, Converge, here, and other places. And I'll be lining up a lot of great shows. Got a lot of devs, creators, entrepreneurs, personalities going to be coming out on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. You can reach out to me on guntersuniverse.com. There's a ton of buttons there that take you to my social media. Add me on Skype. I really like to chat in real time. And that's it, man. It's a show. I've had a lot of fun. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for watching at home. Take care.
Later.
See ya.
Last one. And the music won't work because I have to hit the button again. But instead of music, I'm going to hit this video. That's hilarious.
It's a cat.
It's not. It was a dog when I'm going to play the... Oh, I can't hear.
Oh no.
What is this?
Oh no, I haven't actually heard this yet, but I've saw somebody else watch it.
I charge 50 for an ounce. And my dad used to fuck me ripping
Not a very good
My
big
name's
stomach
Snake,
he's got.
from a rival gang. So give me the drugs or I'll go bang. I'm a real rough bloke, I'll murder your wife. So give me the drugs or you'll be in strife.
Oh no, he's got the drop on me. But lucky I got a trick up my sleeve. Bang! Biggity bang, and bigger bang, bang, biggity, biggity bang. And a shoot, 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 put a bullet in your head.
This is amazing.
Effing dead.
Catchy tune.
Right there, I'm a crooked cop. Give me a bribe or your drugs will stop.
F you.
Oh, you gangsters are such big roughies. I'm gonna put you in handcuffy.
Oh no, it's the boys in blue. What the hell am I gonna do? Bang! just a passerby, and I bang! Bang, 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 and a shoot, 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 put a bullet in your head. Bing, bam, boom, and he's effing dead.
This is amazing.
This is normally how we take the show out. And I say lots of thank yous and sorry so much for the terrible drops and problems and all of that. It couldn't be avoided.
Wait a second. Wait, what?
I killed someone. They couldn't take it.
Wait.
How do we do PPR in here?
I can't get him.
We can't.
Oh, what the hell? Wait. Wait. No. This is terrible.
Keep the cameras rolling.
Oh, they're rolling.
This is terrible.
We don't know what's happening next. What the hell?
Oh my god. And there's a freaking...
I'm killing everyone.
Oh my honey.
Everybody's quiet, wondering. Madman,
Am I next?
what's up? Yeah.
Elite
I
somewhat
didn't see these
dang.
behind me. I didn't see all of these everywhere.
Elite somewhat dang, buddy. Dang.
Roger, how'd you like the show, dude?
Yeah, very good. I had to duck out for about 15 minutes of it.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, saw most of it. So yeah, very good.
Good.
Very good.
Woohoo.
So,
Oh, Roger, how's it going?
hey, how are you? Oh, it's cool that, sorry, I missed the guy's name, the guy that worked at Valve. It's like we had a celebrity, you know, it's almost like meeting...
Matt, you're a celebrity. It is.
All right, well, that was a long show. Very, very long show. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Until next time.